here at the Quarter Lounge Arcade with another episode of What's in the Arcade. And today we're going to be playing one of our vertical shooters in our 1943 cabinet. The second game we have in here is actually called Twin Cobra.
Okay, let's get this going. Get a little Twin Cobra action going. There's my quarter, and very excited about this. I play Twin Cobra at least once a week, probably more when I'm around the arcade. But I just love the mechanics of this game, the way it works, the screen being slightly larger than what you can see, so you have a little bit of that side-to-side area, which helps you with dodging the speed of the helicopter and the bullets. Everything's just very balanced in this game. I love this game. The music just brings back memories as soon as you drop that quarter in. So let's see how we do here. So the interesting part about this game is you only have so many bullets per screen. So no matter how fast you push the fire button, you will still only be able to fire at a certain rate. So a lot of times you'll see me kind of stay up towards the top of the screen, and that's because the bullets leave the top of the screen if I know where an enemy's going to come, which allows me to fire faster. This is kind of one of your first tricky parts with stuff coming from both sides. It's kind of like a little test to see what kind of a player you are right off in the beginning. So it's okay to leave that bomb for a little bit. Pick it up when you can. So this also has a great power-up system. You have red, which is the type of fire I have now, green, and then you have blue, which I tend to prefer just because of the wide shot. This slows down your firing rate even a little bit more, because if it doesn't hit something, again, that bullet has to go off screen before you can really get that fire speed up. But as long as they're hitting something, you can do pretty good. So all those little stars, those are for points. You can keep those to the end without dying. You'll rack up even more points, which hopefully we'll show you here in the end how all that racks up. I usually pick these up if I can with the same color that I'm on. It just gives you some extra points. So I'm going to try and see if I can get to 140,000 in the first stage. I usually come up about 138, sometimes 136. But if I pick up everything, don't die, we should do pretty good. And hit that 140,000 mark. So far, so good. You also get points for having bombs at the end, and I've got quite a few down there. But I know I tend to use a couple on the boss here. The blue fire shot is not very powerful, so it's not very good for the end boss. I could change here, but then that means I would have to change back and starting the next level, so let's see if I can get through it without dying and keep the blue wide shot. The green is sort of the powerful laser. The red was the initial shot. The blue is the one I have now. Then there's a yellow which ends up shooting all directions. So here we go. Get that dodge going. Oh, I have to throw a couple more bombs. It's not really damaging them very much. There we go. Alright, let's see if we can rack up 140,000 points. Gives you a little break to kind of stretch as well. Nice. So we did it. We hit that 140. That's the most I've ever gotten on stage 1. Is right at that 140,000 mark. Alright, stage 2 should be a little bit easier, at least to get started with, having that wide shot like that. Got lots of power up still. Even if you did die, you can power up pretty quickly at the beginning of stage 2. So the trick with a lot of these vertical games is you don't stop moving. You just keep sweeping back and forth, left to right. And you can, knowing the speed of the game and just playing it often really helps you know where you can get to. Kind of zigzagging between the bullets. So now I'm actually starting to get a little bit of power in the center of that blue wide shot. And you see that they're shooting at me. Crazy. We'll got that ship off to the left. There we go. Pick up those points. So we're going to be getting to the really large ship here. And we've got enough bombs in case we need to get through it. But we should be okay. Just keep moving. Go. We're going to have the one harder plane here, and sometimes I can actually run the gauntlet and get in between those if I need to. Almost dead. Oh wow, that was close. Okay, missed those points, but see if we can get through here. It's a lot of bullets. Yeah, let's not take the chance. So you see, we've got quite a few levels of power-ups on board now. 245,000 on the first life. Doing pretty good. Here's my one up to the right. I'll go back and get that in a second. So that's usually there. It's not always there. If you die and before that you don't get enough points, that will actually just be more points instead of a one up. So the painful part is when you die and you have to go back to that pea shooter again. It just changes your whole game. Especially when you start getting up in a little bit of the higher levels. There's all these power-ups available. So picking up that blue for some extra points. Oh, that was close. Alright. I think they're out to kill me or something. They just keep firing at me. Alright. Oh, God. Okay, well, let's see how the rest of this goes. Let's get through that. So all those stars that I picked up along the way, I lose those bonus points here because I died at the end. Still, got to the second boss on the first life. It's not bad. Wish we could have got through it, but kind of takes it out of you when you lose all those power-ups like that in a game like this. Very similar to Raiden 1943. I just prefer this one, although I do love Raiden in any flavor. It's just a great game. 1943 is also a very memorable game. Tons of people love that game. I'm not a huge fan of it myself, just because of the multiple hits and one life doesn't work as well for me. And I don't know, I just love this game. We're starting to get a couple of power-ups here. Let's see what we can do. These helicopters really track you in this third stage. Okay. That was close. Not quite ready for that blue yet. I'll end up with a single weak shot going forward. So I want to at least get a third power up before I switch. But love that music. such an enjoyable game, and especially when it works and looks good. The screen looks good. Everything's crisp and sharp. Joysticks, buttons, and there we go. All right, we almost had that third one we needed. Oh, okay. Didn't quite make it through the center there. Starting to drop lives pretty quick here. But anyways, I mean, that's Twin Cobra. It's an incredible game here at the arcade. Quick shout out to Derek Ashbury for selling me this board. I don't know how long ago. A good 2.5 years, 3 years ago. I've been playing it ever since, and played this game back in the day, and will continue to play it. It's just one of those games that made its way into my heart, and I love this game. It's fast, it's exciting, but you can actually maneuver. All the speeds are just right. Alright, well, there we go. That's Twin Cobra, 363,520. It's not bad. I've gotten into the 4s before, which is a pretty good score. That's a fair run. Once I died that first time, just wasn't holding it together. But there you go. We'll see you guys at the arcade, and thanks for watching. That was Twin Cobra from Toplan, 1987.